just as promised to lay followers in the Itivuttak, that whoever desires joy, may he aspire to heavenly joys or may he yearn for human happiness, Ashoka declared that all the subjects were his children and he worked for their welfare and happiness in this world and in heaven. For this purpose, Ashoka concerned himself personally with the public affairs and displayed utmost passion in doing so. For instance, in one of his edicts he declares, quote, "At every moment, whether I am at table, in the women's quarters, in my room, on the farmlands, in a vehicle, in the gardens, anywhere, informants must acquaint me with public affairs. The main thing is to work and to bring affairs to a successful conclusion." Unquote. Further, Ashoka started Dhamma tours, that is Dhamma Yatras, and established a direct contact with his subjects to be in personal resonance with the masses and advised his family members to follow his example. He was assisted in his task by officials appointed for the welfare and happiness of the people, envoys who carried his message throughout the empire and among the foreign kingdoms, district officers, yuktas, inspectors, rajukas, and local governors, pardesikas, who every 5 years set out on tour with his special edicts overseas of the Dharma, Dhamma Mahamatas, charged with the care not only of the elderly, the wretched and prisoners, but also of the Buddhist Sangha, the Brahmins, Ajivikas, Niganthas, etc. His zeal also found expression in the carrying out of a large number of public works, the planting of shady trees, medicinal herbs, provision of medicines for animals and humans, maintenance of the highways with the resting places, wells and tanks. Such undertakings were what the Buddhist texts like to attribute to good rulers. Sin, Ashoka asserted, is easily committed and it is difficult to combat a wrong inclination. His reasoning agrees with that of the Dhampad, which says that easily performed are wrong actions, and whatever harms the self, but what is beneficial and good is very difficult to accomplish. The misdeeds which the fivefold morality prescribes for the lay follower, Ashoka was less demanding than the Panchashil, avoidance of taking life, theft, sexual misconduct, falsehood and the use of alcoholic drinks, and only condemned taking life or violence exerted on creatures, and he recommended loyalty and truthfulness. In terms of domestic virtues, Ashoka continuously recommended obedience to one's father and mother, obedience to one's teachers, courtesy towards one's friends, acquaintances, companions, family, kindness to the poor, the old and the weak, as well as to slaves and servants, generosity towards Brahmins and Shamans. The Buddha offered precisely the same sort of advice to householder Singalak. To quote him, "How does the noble disciple protect the 6 regions of space?" The 6 regions are composed of as follows. Father and mother are the east, teachers are the south, sons and wife are the west, friends and companions are the north, slaves and servants are the nadir, Shramans and Brahmins are the zenith. Unquote. Just as Ashoka extolled in his subjects the minimum of spending and the minimum of assets. So does the Buddha warn the laity against vices which could lead to the loss of their fortune. Ashok pointed out that there is no gift or assistance which is equivalent to the gift of the Dharma. The Buddhist texts also return unceasingly to the same theme. There are two kinds of gifts, a material gift and a gift of the Dharma. But the foremost of these two gifts is the gift of the Dharma. Many are the vices condemned by Ashok as well as the virtues recommended by him. He bade his subjects and particularly his officials to battle inwardly jealousy, irritability, cruelty, hastiness, obstinacy, idleness, and lassitude, and to obviate those accesses to faults, which consist of ill will, callousness, anger, pride, and envy. He listed the virtues of the Dharma whose practice guarantees happiness in this world and in the next. Mastery over the senses, equanimity, gentleness, obedience, pity, truthfulness, devotion, vigilance, docility, circumspection, vigor, pity, charity, truthfulness, and purity. These faults and virtues are very similar to those found in the Buddhist texts. While explaining the meaning of Dharma, Ashoka mentions in his second pillar edict that Dharma is having few faults and many good deeds like mercy, charity, truthfulness, purity, gentleness, and virtue. To quote him, the elephant trainers, clerks, fortune tellers, and Brahmins instruct their apprentices according to ancient tradition that they should honor their masters, unquote. His policy of Dharma also included different welfare measures. For example, in his seventh pillar edict, he says, to quote him, on the road I have had banyan trees planted, which will give shade to beasts and men. I have had mango groves planted, and I have had wells dug and rest houses built at every 8 crores, and I have had many watering places made everywhere for the use of beasts and men, but I have done these things in order that my people may conform to Dharma, unquote. He also emphasized on deference to those advanced in age, the poor and wretched, slaves and servants.